Getting stood up is one of those things that's like so surreal and so jarring emotionally that when it happens, you really just gotta milk it. You gotta milk the out of it and really just make the most of it. And that's what I'm doing today. Hi, my name is Destiny. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a writer on Substack, and today I'm going to read you my newest piece about getting stood up, allegedly, at Yard House. It's inspired by a true story. Here we go. I would not recommend Yard House for a first date. The realization struck me as soon as I sat down. Classic rock boomed through the speakers, while multiple TV screens lay across every line of sight. I was nervous enough about meeting this girl for the first time, but the sensory overload only made it worse. We had only known each other for a few weeks, courtesy of the Instagram story to text relationship pipeline. Our conversations were intriguing. She asked really simple yet deep questions, and I really liked this about her. And I plan on telling her that today, in person. Not long after I sat down, I felt my watch vibrate. She sent me a text. Just got off the freeway. Gonna stop for gas while the sun's still out. Be there soon. XX. Why didn't she get gas before she left? Thought that to myself. After all, that's what I would have done. But I figured everyone's different. So I responded, for sure, got us a table. And then I waited, which wasn't a huge deal because I knew she would be coming soon. But I still felt really fidgety. Everywhere I looked, something different was going on. 4 different NBA games, an NHL match, and a lacrosse game, which is pretty random, were showing across 21 TV screens. I counted. Not to mention waiters and busboys moving rapidly. It created a sense of urgency that made me less nervous about the date itself and more so anxious about taking up space in an environment where livelihoods are made by getting people in and out as quickly as possible. 30 minutes passed after what felt like an eternity. I checked my phone for what could have been the 50th time. No new messages. Thought to myself, did she get lost? Surely she should have been here by now. Something was off, but I rationalized that perhaps she only gets gas at Costco. And, they always have these long lines, so maybe she got stuck in a queue. So I decided to wait it out. After all, maybe she was almost there. But then the waiter came around. Hey, I see we're still waiting for one more guest, she said, glancing at the unclaimed water sweating across from mine. Yeah, I'm sorry. She's almost here. No worries, you're completely fine. Just let me know if you need anything. It felt wrong to sit at the table and not spend money, so I ordered a drink, something called Old 43. Usually I stay sober when I know I'm going to drive myself home, but I was feeling so anxious. It's like my heart was beating out of my chest. I just thought maybe a little alcohol will help. Then 30 minutes became an hour. Did she go to a different yard house? Like, at this point, what's going on? I'm pretty sure she would have texted me if she didn't see me, but I had to check just to make sure I sent like the right address. And I did. But then I thought to myself, okay, like, what if something happened to her? So I sent a message. Hey, just checking in. Everything okay? I was starting to get really self-conscious, dude. Like, groups that came in after me were finishing up their meals. Even though my server was really sweet and understanding, I couldn't help but feel like I was an inconvenience. But not that any of that should really matter because, like, what if something actually happened to this girl? All I could do was wait for her to respond. But then, what if she couldn't respond because something bad had happened? So I opened up Google Maps. Yeah, I know. Google Maps, yes. People usually set alerts if like something happens nearby, stuff like that. So I checked. Thankfully, nothing was reported. But then another undesirable possibility started to creep into my mind. But I had to shut it down. I didn't want to deal with that. And it just made me feel really icky because how could that even be possible? Like, this is someone that I've been talking to like literally that day. She talked about how excited she was to see me, show me her designs. Like there was just genuine interest that I was feeling. So it wouldn't really make sense. Like nothing in our dialogue suggested anything otherwise. But at the same time, I barely knew this girl. Another 15 minutes passed. Fucking hell. A group of guys sitting at the table ahead of me started to leave. Their table was at a diagonal from mine, so they were within my line of sight all throughout. But I only had a good view of the guy at the edge of the seat facing me. His hair was tied in a bun. He wore a Bengals crew neck. He looked around my age, maybe older. My table was closer to the exit, which meant that they were going to pass me by on their way out. So I kind of like preemptively looked away at another TV. But then the unexpected happened. Bengals crew neck stopped when he reached me. He must have noticed me the same way I noticed him. He said to me, "Hey, I just want to say, I've been there before. You're a real trooper. Not many people can handle what you're going through right now. Whoever this person is, they don't deserve you." And before I can say anything, this man smiled at me and walked away. And it was like right then and there that I realized, like, yeah, it's time to get the fuck out of Yard House. It's time. I'm I'm tapping it. I'm calling it. Bring me the check. Let's get the fuck out of here for real. It's time to leave. One person sitting at a booth with two waters, two menus for over an hour. Yeah. Yeah. The misery needed to end. Yeah. When my server came around, I asked for the check. I left a $20 tip on Old 43 and I booked it. I got out of Yard House so fast. Like I was in a state. I was like it was all a blur. I don't even know where I was walking. I was no thoughts really going through my mind until I got to my car. How did I get there? I don't know. But I got in my car. I'm driving home, and I'm like, "What the hell happened?" Like my chest is aching. My stomach is like tight. Everything is just feeling off. Like my body is literally in shock. I get home, again, I'm going through the messages and I'm just like, yo, what the hell happened? Like, did she get nervous? Did something happen? She checking out? Like, was it something that I said? So I go through my texts and I'm like, what did I send? Did I say something wrong? Did I like fuck this up somehow? And I'm looking at the text that I sent her, like the last one, where I said, like, for sure, I got us a table. And there's this thought in my head that's like, because I wrote FS. Like, what if she read that and was like, fuck's sake, and she got offended? That thought came in my mind. That's how down bad I was. And I had to catch myself. I was like, Destiny, like, that's such a long shot. I even went on Urban Dictionary and Googled, hey, what is the FS Urban Dictionary? What is the meaning of that? And Urban Dictionary had to validate me and say, no, you're right. It's for sure. Like, come on. Everything about it just felt so surreal, so unexplainable. Like, literally, you think you're going this way, but you're actually going. I don't know. All I could, all I could keep thinking about is like there has to be some type of explanation. Like there has to be a reason. There's no way this is happening to me right now. I like kind of calmed myself down, and I went to bed thinking to myself like, okay, by the time I wake up, she's probably gonna send me a message. It's gonna be an explanation, and all of this is just gonna be cleared up. It's just gonna be one huge understanding, and it's all gonna be okay. The sound of my phone's vibration. I'm gonna get back on the thing because I kind of went, I kind of started freestyling here, but the sound of my phone's vibration pulled me out of sleep. Text messages popped up one by one. And they were from her, and they were long. The sense of reassurance kind of flowed through me like a cool river. I can't lie. Like I was like, thank God. Like she didn't forget about me. There's probably something to say about that, but I'll touch on that later. I began reading through the messages, and then everything started to fade. And it was like this bright light kind of overwhelmed me, overtook everything. And the sun greeted me through my window, chasing away my slumber. Sense of relief lingered as I reached for my phone, hoping to replicate my not so distant dream. So yeah, just to clarify, I was dreaming. Just felt like putting that out there. I look at my phone and what do I see? It's a text notification. And boom, like that fight or flight you get, like that surge of adrenaline that just kind of runs through you in matters of milliseconds. Yeah, that's what happened. It was like my heart went like went from heart rate went from like 56 to 120, just like that. So I unlock my phone, and then what do I see? A text message from my friend asking me how the freaking date went. What date? There was never a date. Like, when I tell you, I almost threw my phone across the room. That was when I realized, for real, I was like, oh shit, like I got ghosted. I got stood up. Wow. For real, that's how it felt. Oh my gosh. And even then, I still felt like there had to be a reason. Like, I still felt inclined to send another message. And I was about to type one up. And then I had to say to myself, like, at this moment where I kind of just realized everything that I was feeling, I stopped and I was like, let me sit up, assess myself. My chest felt hollow, you know, my stomach felt tight. Like everything about my body was just, it was uncomfortable. When you really try to transcribe what that feeling is, that body sensation, where is it coming from? It was pain. My body was responding like I was in pain. Not only that, I was confused, sad, but most of all, I was hurt. And that's really what it was. My feelings were hurt. And it didn't matter. Like at that point, it didn't matter if I had an explanation as to what happened. It didn't matter if I kept wondering or hypothesizing. None of that really mattered because that's like me focusing on someone else's feelings, what someone else is going through, and this is someone who obviously isn't extending that courtesy to me. Like I'm realizing for real, like my feelings are hurt. I need to focus on that. I need to take care of that. So yeah, that's how it ended. That's the end of the story. Still never heard from her. Still never heard from her. Which at this point I don't give a shit. It's like crazy because you go through that moment, and even for me, I was thinking like, okay, what if she just didn't get the text messages? I kept going through all these possibilities, but sometimes it really just comes down to people aren't good people sometimes. Like when I think about people who get ghosted or stood up and stuff, like you hear those stories, people they go on Reddit and they're like, I've been talking to this guy or I've been talking to this girl for like 2 months. We've gone on how many dates and like just ghosted me out of the blue. When I hear those types of stories, I used to be like, how is that even possible? Now I just understand some people, they just don't care. And somehow they're able to live with that. Me personally, I cannot live like that. When you ghost someone, you are denying yourself an opportunity to one, communicate effectively, and two, establish some sort of closure. When I think about people who ghost instead of just communicating that they don't want to do something or communicating something that they dislike, what that tells me is one, you probably cannot even honor your own feelings. You can't make the connection between what you're feeling and how to put that into words in order to communicate that to another person or even possibly communicate it to yourself, which is a flaw. But also, you don't even want to develop that. Sometimes sometimes ironically, the person doesn't want to hurt the other person's feelings by telling them the truth, by canceling plans, which I say is ironic because ghosting hurts even more. I would much rather have this girl say, hey, you know what? I changed my mind about tonight. I can't do it. And then just leave it at that. There'll still be some questions like, oh, like why, what happened and stuff. But at least I know you just didn't want to do it. At least you didn't have me waiting at this restaurant like an idiot. For someone who gets ghosted, like you're left with all these questions, wondering like what happened. If there was something that you did, you don't even get to know what it was so that you can even work on it for the next person. Overall, just lack of communication, it kind of robs people of an opportunity to grow. Being able to communicate bad information or not so pleasant information is definitely a skill. Sometimes you have to give bad news, and that's just what life is. I feel like there's an issue in our society sometimes where people care so much about being liked that they don't want to be honest in saying something that someone else might find displeasing. So, in the case of maybe this situation where you have a date planned and maybe for whatever reason the date wants to cancel, they might feel bad about giving that news. And instead, they will pretty much avoid the situation altogether and leave you hanging instead of just being open and honest and saying, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. It's kind of selfish. It's really selfish. But also, it there's no, I don't want to say, it's like the easy way out. It is. It's the easy way out. I would even say it's kind of cowardly. Just be honest, say what you need to say, be truthful to yourself. I would much rather, me personally, I would much rather speak my truth, be honest and respectful, because that's very important, and be respectful with someone, than try to care so much about being liked that I can't even communicate my own feelings. You know, if someone decides, if I have to give someone news that's honest and in a respectful way, and they don't like that, they don't like what I say, that's okay. You don't have to like it. But I know I'm speaking my truth. I know I communicated. I did my due diligence. I said what I had to say. It's better to go out that way than to worry so much about being disliked by the person that you avoid the situation altogether, and now you have created a mess of a situation where someone doesn't even have the information, they don't have your critique, they don't even know what you were thinking, they don't know the why, and you do, but you don't even get to express it yourself, so you're kind of just walking away with it. I don't know, I don't want to ramble too much, but that's my blog, bro. That's what it is. I appreciate you listening. If you made it this far, I have more work on my Substack. The link in the description. You can check out my Instagram. I do more than just write. If you like the video, please push the like button. If you're not a subscriber and you would like to subscribe, do it. Yeah. Do you have an experience like this? Share it below. What do you think about dating culture? What do you think about this epidemic of ghosting and stuff? Like, what's your take? What's your experience? Let me know in the comments. We need to talk about this. We need to come to some sort of consensus and air it all out. Appreciate you for listening and watching. I'll see you in the next video.